Goodwin. Harding. Hug. Melton is absent. Rowe. Festerson. Mr. President.
Here. Please stand to pledge allegiance. Remain standing by council opening remarks. Council member Lavanya Fisher.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon, everyone. You may be seated. Yesterday, I had the privilege of joining Juneteenth, Nebraska, the NAACP, the Mayor's Office, our Human Rights and Relations Committee, and veterans in the annual Juneteenth flag raising ceremony right here at City Hall. During the event, former council member Ben Gray implored us to vote and to inspire others to vote, as currently the Supreme Court has limited the Voting Rights Act in a 6-3 vote, further eroding the impact of the 1965 landmark voting rights legislation. During yesterday's event, former elected official Brenda Council reminded us that the state of Mississippi did not ratify the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery, until 2013. Yes, I said 2013. During yesterday's flag-raising ceremony for Juneteenth, I was honored to read the following proclamation, which I'll read here today. And as we embark upon the commemoration of 250 years of this nation's anniversary, and as we look to observe Juneteenth, which falls on June 19th, and as we move toward a 2026 election, we should be sober and diligent in our fight to preserve democracy, our right to vote, for fair and free elections, and freedom. Yesterday's proclamation read as, whereas the Emancipation Proclamation was signed by President Lincoln on January 1st, 1863, declaring that all persons held as slaves in the Confederate territories were free, and whereas news about the Emancipation Proclamation did not reach enslaved African Americans in the southernmost states until 2.5 years later, when Union troops arrived in Galveston, Texas on June 19th, 1865, and whereas June 19th became known as Juneteenth, is the oldest known celebration commemorating the end of slavery in the United States and serves as a vital celebration of African American freedom, resilience, and triumph. And whereas we celebrate the monumental milestone of physical liberation while also recognizing that Juneteenth is a call to action, a reminder that the march toward equality, economic justice, and systematic equality continues today. And whereas the historical significance of this day was further honored with the Juneteenth National Independence Day Act, which was signed into law by Congress on June 17, 2021, establishing Juneteenth as a federal holiday, and whereas the vibrant city of Omaha stands as a testament to the power of enduring spirit, defined by faith, creativity, leadership, and a legacy of turning struggle into the progress and joy. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Omaha City Council calls on all residents to celebrate this historic day of freedom, honors those individuals who paved the way for a brighter future, and recognizes Friday, June 19th, 2026, as Juneteenth in the city of Omaha, in witness whereof this Omaha City Council has caused the official seal of the city of Omaha to be affixed on this first day of June 2026. Thank you.
An affidavit of publication is on file, and a current copy of the Open Meeting Act is posted in a white binder on the east wall of legislative chambers.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this meeting meeting of the Omaha City Council. As a courtesy to those in attendance and to facilitate the conduct of our business, we ask that you please turn off all electronic devices and silence them. A reminder that you will have 3 minutes to speak on an agenda item. Please stay on topic. For those not providing in-person testimony and would like your comments entered into the public record, you can email the city clerk's office at cityclerk@cityofomaha.org. Council members receive these emails and we read them. Finally, council members may ask members of the audience back up for clarifying questions, but not for extra time to speak. I would also like to remind council members to speak clearly into their microphones so audience members in attendance and at home can hear them. And also, when you come up to the podium, make sure you're between those two microphones for the same reason. Thank you.
Item 6, to consider a Class C liquor license for the Breakfast Club located at 2121 South 67th Street, Unit 160.
Public hearing is now open for item 6. Is the applicant here today? Good afternoon.
Afternoon. Jessica Holtorf. The business address is 2121 South 67th Street, Unit 160, Omaha, Nebraska, 68106.
Thank you. We might have a few questions for you.
Okay.
Are there any proponents here on item number 6? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed. A few questions for you. This is in my district. First of all, the greatest movie in the history of mankind, The Breakfast Club, so I love your name
Of
of your
course.
business. And that's the old, is that the old Jones Brothers?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And tell us about your business and what your hours are going to be.
So we'll be open 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. We serve breakfast food, brunch food, mega mimosas, Bloody Marys, all that fun stuff. Set to open June 19th for sure on that Friday. A couple days before, we'll do a VIP friends and family event for training, but definitely plan to open Friday, June 19th.
Okay, and I know, in fact, I had lunch today at Red Door, and I know Corner Kick's opening soon, so
Yeah.
it's a lot of exciting things in Exarban Village, and I'll look forward to getting up there, and I'm certainly going to support this today. Thanks for being here.
Great, thank you.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding. Hug. Rowe. Festerson. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0.
Thank you.
Item 7, to consider a Class C liquor license for Academy Club located at 1001 North 12th Street. A is a request to amend the trade name to the Academy.
Public hearing is now open on item number 7. Is the applicant here today? Good afternoon.
Hello, my name is Ethan Baudlet. I own Maven Social. This is our 8th location. This location will be, it's a new business, but we have 7 prior locations. This address is 1001 North 12th Street, Suite 103, 68102. I'm here to answer any questions you might have for me.
Thank you. Are there any proponents here today on item number 7?
Excuse me there, young man.
Yeah, of course.
Donnie R. Johnson, the Johnson Equestrian Foundation, Northern Hall Concerned Citizen Foundation, 4928 North 52nd Street. By the way, Ms. Goodwin, you sound really wonderful today, but we're asking that a 1/2 cent to 1.5 cent sales tax be put on all beer sales going forward, and a reverse the sales tax on wheel tax.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents here on item number 7? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed. Councilmember Goodwin, you're recognized.
Mr. President, I just had a few questions for the owner.
Yes.
So what are your hours going to be for this establishment?
Right now, we're looking at 11 to 11 for weekdays and later on weekends. The concept is going to be around a sports bar. Maven Social is my restaurant company. This will be our kind of our first sports bar-esque, so TVs, pool tables, shuffleboard, that kind of thing, right by the stadium.
And when do you plan to open?
Hopefully the 12th for CWS, pending everything goes okay with our CO on the 9th.
Got you. Thank you for that. Wish you good success. Motion to approve.
Thank you.
Is that a motion for the amendment
Yeah,
to change the trade name?
Yes.
Okay.
Motion to approve the amendment as a whole.
It's just an amendment.
Amendment.
Yep.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin.
Yes.
Harding.
Yes.
Hug.
Yes.
Rowe. Festerson.
Yes.
Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. We need a motion as amended.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Rowe. Festerson.
Yes.
Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 8, to consider Class C liquor license for Book Club Society located at 2521 South 133rd Plaza.
Public hearing is now open on item 8. I believe Mr. Houghton is available by Zoom.
That's correct. Good afternoon, Mr. President, members of the council. My name is David Houghton, and I'm here at 2804 South 87th Ave. I'm here today on behalf of the Book Club Society, LLC, doing business as Book Club Society located at 2521 South 133rd Plaza. This is a new application on a new location. Generally, it's on the northwest corner of 132nd and Center. This will be a bookstore that would like to serve alcohol as an amenity while people browse for books. But more importantly, they'll host some private book clubs and some private book signings from time to time, and would like to be able to serve alcohol at those times as well. The location will be open until 6 or 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday and 4 o'clock on Sundays. If any of the council members have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you. Are there any proponents here today on item 8?
Good afternoon, Omaha City Council. Donnie R. Johnson, the Johnson Equestrian Foundation, North Omaha Concerned Citizen Foundation, 4928 North 52nd Street. We've been studying the tax on tobacco, so we want another 2% tax added to.
Donnie, this is to the liquor license.
Yeah, but we want
It's
to
not on-
increase the tax for the sales.
It's not part of this item.
The event. What about the events? Can we raise the tax on the
This
events?
is for a liquor license for Book Club Society.
Yeah, but we want them to pay some more in taxes.
Okay, thank you. Are there any proponents here on item 8? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed. Second. Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Rowe. Festerson.
Yes.
Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 9, to consider a Class C liquor license for Haven Express Lounge located at 1217 Leavenworth Street. A's Communication and Support, B's Communication and Opposition.
Public hearing is now open on item number 9. Is the applicant here today? Come on down.
Hello, my name is Devontae Nunn at 1217 Leavenworth, zip code 68102.
Thank you. We'll probably have some questions for you today. Are there any proponents here on item number 9?
Hello, I'm Adam. I'm the property manager at that building. We're renting to Devontae.
Can you give us your address as well
Oh,
and
yeah.
your last name?
Excuse me.
That's okay.
Our official address is 1215 Leavenworth Street, the storage loft, and that's run by Hudson LLC out of Rumson, New Jersey. So I just wanted to state we're looking forward to him moving in. Any questions on the building, the parking, or any issues of that nature I can answer for you. I know there's been some questions about it. We had a liquor license back in 2019, and I believe it went lapse in 2019 or 2020 when the previous restaurant moved. So I'm just here to support him and answer any questions you may have on the building or facility.
Okay, thanks.
Sorry about me being nervous.
No, you're doing just fine. You're doing great.
Thank you, brother.
Did we get her last name?
Adam Peterson.
We did? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Are there any other proponents here on item number 9? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Come on right up.
Thank you, City Council. My name is John Thomas, and I live at 1122 Mayberry Plaza here in Omaha, also known as the row houses at Soma. My wife and I have lived there since 2006, 19 years this month, and we love our neighbors and we love our neighborhood. I am a current member of the Soma HOA Board of Directors and have served in the capacity as Vice President, President, and current board member for those 19 years. I am also a current board member of the Omaha Downtown Improvement District, focused on improving the Omaha downtown area for both businesses and residents. And until recently, I have also been a business and building owner located at 14th and Jones Streets. I appear today to voice my concerns and objections to a liquor license being issued to Haven Express Lounge, 1217 Leavenworth Street, or anyone else for that matter, for the following reasons. Soma is an unfenced, compact, quiet, strictly residential community of 123 residential homes. Families, individuals, children, retirees, no businesses, all located only 49 feet directly west of 1217 Leavenworth Street. Let me repeat that. We are not a gated community. Soma is a quiet residential community of 123 residents, only 49 feet directly west of 1217 Leavenworth Street, without any boundary protections in place. I would suggest that you ask yourselves and your family or your children if you would be open to living 49 feet away from a tavern. At the inception of the row houses at Soma, we established a homeowners association in approximately 2006. That HOA established and strictly enforces, to this day, a regulation of covenants, bylaws, rules, and regulations that strictly prohibit the disturbing of each individual homeowner's residence, whether it be noise, behavior, parking, parties, drugs, alcohol, any behavior whatsoever that would disturb the peaceful nature of our community. All Soma row houses have at least 2 or 3 outdoor decks where we can enjoy the skyline and community without interruption or interference. I just met Devante just this afternoon, and I wish he would have introduced himself earlier than today, that we would have had a chance to visit about his operations, because I have a lot of questions. I have gone over their business plan, which includes the drawing of their tavern space. There is no mention of stove, range, exhaust hood, deep fat fryer, no mention of fire safety provisions. Are they using their food trucks to cook? Would that create a noise in the neighborhood by running generators? There is no mention of exterior lighting.
John, I got to cut you off because the 3 minutes is up.
That's it?
Yeah, well, you get
Okay.
3 minutes. Thanks. I might have questions for you. You can stay
Okay,
nearby.
I'll stay here.
Okay,
Sorry
thank
about
you.
that.
No, you're good. You're doing great. Are there any other opponents here today on item number 9?
Okay. Hi, my name is Carrie Waple. I live at 1233 Leavenworth Plaza. We are the unit that's 49 feet from where this restaurant bar will be located. It is literally right underneath our bedroom window, and our property backs up to the parking lot. And I'm hearing for the first time that there might be food trucks and parties, and we don't know what time of operation that this place will be open, but we're very concerned and very much in opposition of putting something this close to a residential community, especially when it's right next door to our unit.
Thank you. Thank you. Are there any other opponents?
Good afternoon. Joe Eggleston, 1214 Mayberry. Good afternoon, members of the board and community. I'm here today to respectfully oppose the application of the liquor license at this business at the existing facility structure 1215 to 1219 Leavenworth Street. My opposition is not a matter of subjective personal choice, but is rather a matter of objective city planning, legal compliance, and municipal equity. Simply put, this property, as it currently sits, is non-compliant with city code. In its entirety, it is not compatible with the intent of the area zoning, and I ask you to deny this application. The concrete box building at 1215 Leavenworth Street sits within a ACI 1 zoned district. That's area of civic importance under Omaha law. The code defines this type of district as one which helps to shape the city's physical image with a downtown-like appearance and pedestrian-oriented environment. The neighboring properties, including Nebraska Medical Center Clinic, the Bemis Fine Arts Center, and where we reside, the Rose at Soma, try to be good neighbors, and we all uphold and contribute to the appearance of the downtown city standard as defined in the code, featuring clean brick facades and proper landscaping as also defined by the code. The building at 1215 Leavenworth, conversely, is a large, unsightly concrete box described in the city's plot map as a mini warehouse, which currently operates a U-Haul truck rental business and a storage facility. No fault to those businesses. Those have been there for a while, tolerated, no problems with those. However, they're asking to change and for special permission to add alcohol, and that's what I have the problem with. As my photos show, I don't know if they got too bright. Sorry about that. The facility suffers from weed overgrowth, poorly maintained curbs, crumbling facade, and overall includes a lot of litter. It is not compatible with the district's civic goals, and it is not a pedestrian-friendly area. The two entrances of this facility are approximately 3 car widths wide. They are very wide driveways, and on those driveways there is not a single crosswalk, painted pedestrian crossing, or any other means to protect these arterials and these entryways for those on foot or on bike. I believe that this facility contradicts the city's zoning intent in language as well as in fact. Internally, there's 40-plus parking spaces off-street, which is not what the zoning says it should have. It says it should have primarily on-street parking. There's 40 spaces of interior parking, but there is no perimeter landscaping.
Your 3-minute
as the code
time
requires.
is up.
Yes,
Your
sir.
3 minutes. Thank you for being here today.
I ask you to deny this request.
Thank you. Are there any other opponents here today on item number 9? Public hearing is closed. Mr. Nunn, can you come back up, please? And before I ask you a question, this is either for city law or Mr. Fanslaw. The reference to the city code zoning compliance issues, Dave, I guess I'll start with you. Is there any issues here with this establishment according to city code zoning issues?
Dave Fansel, City Planning. My department has not reviewed any site plan for zoning compliance. I believe it is in an ACI district, but those regulations don't come into play unless the site is, there's like a building permit or a special use permit or a conditional use permit where we would layer on those requirements. So again, my department doesn't review site plans or building elevations for liquor licenses.
Okay.
So I can't totally speak.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Fanslaw. Mr. Kuzi, can you try to help us understand that question from the constituent?
Well, the question, sorry, Matt Kuzi, Law Department. If the question is about the zoning compliance, I think that I don't really have anything more to add than what Mr. Fanslaw has already alluded to with regards to the zoning issues and a building permit being issued. So if that was the question, or perhaps I'm misunderstanding what you're looking for from me.
I just wanted to answer the question. If he said there was a city code zoning compliance issue.
Maybe I can jump back in. Compliance is different than in conformance with the code, in my opinion. Again, can I ask you?
So with the liquor license applications, we get a planning department report, and it does say the proposed use does comply with zoning regulations.
Yeah,
Okay.
the use, not necessarily the site.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Madam Clerk, and thanks, Dave. Mr. Nunn, good afternoon. We had you had contacted our office, and I had a chance to talk to you today, and I was out of town last week, but you and I did have a good conversation. I spoke to Mr. Thomas as well, who's a good advocate for SOMA there in that area. Can you just tell us, like, start with, do you have a presentation to tell us about your bar?
So what we are is it's not a, I wouldn't call it a bar. It's a food first lounge. So what it is for the last 6 years I've kind of built the business from ground up with the food truck, serving the community and maintaining a clean and safe, respectful operation. Today I'm here to ask to take the next step there at 1217 Leavenworth. First, I want to acknowledge all the concerns being raised. I understand that anytime alcohol is involved, people want to make sure it's handled responsibly. I respect that, and I agree that accountability matters. What I'm creating is not a high-volume bar or party environment. This is a food-first lounge built on the same foundation that has allowed my business to succeed for years. Structure, consistency, and respect for the community. Food will remain a major part of what we do, and the atmosphere will reflect that. I have already passed all required inspections, and I'm fully committed to following every law and regulation that comes with holding a liquor license. My staff will be trained to check IDs, monitor consumption, and refuse service when necessary. Safety is not optional in my business, it's essential. I also want to be clear that I'm invested in the community long term. I'm not here just to open a business. I'm building something that creates jobs, bring positive energy to the area, and gives people a place to gather responsibly. I understand that some people may worry about crime or disruption. My response is simple. Business that are run properly don't create those problems, they prevent those problems. We have clear expectations, controlled operations, and a focus of maintaining a safe environment at all times. I'm also open to working with community members and organizations to ensure that the space operates in a way that aligns with the neighborhood expectations in the community. And accountability goes a long way with communication. At the end of the day, I've already proven that I can run a successful and compliant business. This is the simple next step done the right way with the same level of care and responsibility. I respectfully ask for the opportunity to continue to grow my business.
Thank you. And a couple questions for you. So, Mr. Thomas and SOMA, the group that represents the neighbors that live there, when you and I talked today, I asked, had you reached out to them and you felt genuinely remorseful that you got another business you're running right now, correct?
Yeah, so again, when I first went in there, I own a food truck, and I've been doing that for 6 years. I was able to quit my full-time job 4 years ago. In the summer, it's very important for us to stay focused because that's where a lot of our income comes in at. I was a little nervous getting into the lounge in the summer because I knew it would kind of mess up our sales with the food truck. So at the time of moving in the location, I was very just head focused on getting in the location, continuing to do the events. So I didn't get a chance to really be, welcome, go and meet any neighbors or anything. I kind of was just trying to focus on the business.
That's fair. And with the people that are represented by SOMA, do you pledge today that you'll be glad to sit down and talk to them and give them the time to ask the questions that they asked of me and they've kind of asked here today?
Yes, I just spoke with him and I met him today. He said they have a meeting Monday, and like I told him, I'm willing to go to the meeting, to their meeting, and answer all questions that arise or anything that they may have to ask.
Okay. And your liquor license application, you have a patio outside and you have a small, it's not a big place, and I didn't mean bar, it's your business, right? But you're asking for a liquor license. If I go there and order food and I get something to eat and I order a drink, if this is granted, can I go outside with that drink, or will you have any loud music outside, anybody playing, or is there any loud music?
No, there will be no liquor on the patio and there will be no live music. The only music that will be playing is from like a TV. So there's no like speakers or anything that I'm going to invest in or do in that building space.
Okay. And what hours are you looking for your operation? It said 10 on one part, and then is that different, 12 o'clock?
So Monday and Tuesday will be closed, and then Tuesday through Thursday, we were planning to operate from noon to about midnight, 11:30 being the last call for anything. But I'm willing to work with the community if those hours are just out of their range. Again, I'm willing to work with them. I plan on meeting with them, and they'll let me know their concerns, and I can kind of clear up to them the hours, and we can work well together.
Okay. I'll have a few more questions, but there's a few lights on for my colleagues. I'd like to yield to Councilmember Goodwin. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I had a question first for the actual building owner. I believe we heard from him, and I just wanted to get some clarity about, you mentioned 2019. Was there a food establishment at this location in
Yes.
2019?
Oma's was a deli. They operated as a deli, and they had a liquor license. I don't remember what class, and they allowed it to lax in 2019 or 2020. I couldn't tell you the exact date. I don't remember. I've been there since 2017, so they let it go when they moved out.
So there was a former food establishment
Yeah.
at this location.
Yeah.
And how would you describe your, well, you are the owner, not the operator, correct?
I'm the general manager. The owner's out of New Jersey.
Okay.
He's a Nebraskan, but he moved to New Jersey.
Right. How would you describe the relationship between the operating business and Soma?
As far as I know, they enjoyed him greatly. I mean, there was a breakfast area, and I know the neighborhood would come and enjoy the facility. So I don't understand the disconnect. So it was there. They didn't serve a lot. I think it was just wine and beer, and they did a couple minor cocktails is all they really served. And they were more of a breakfast lunch.
Okay.
So I don't think they ever stayed open past 5.
Gotcha. And what is your last name again, sir?
Peterson.
Peterson. Thank you,
Adam.
Mr. Peterson.
Yeah.
So I got a few more statements and questions. First of all, I did want to say that I have the pleasure of knowing Mr. Nunn and knowing his product as a food truck operator, and watching him grow as an entrepreneur. Also knowing him to be a respected citizen in our community, having graduated from the Step Up program, and even being a part of the Hope Center, which I think helped form your values, as I know Mr. Nunn. But I also want to say I'm a proponent of safe neighborhoods, and I understand the angst of residents when beer and alcohol's involved, and how you're right, managing that, it goes a long way to not only you having a reputable business, but also the neighbors living in harmony with your business. This is not my district. However, I know I would want to probably propose this to Councilmember Begley. We hadn't talked about this, but I know a Class I liquor license essentially prohibits you from being able to remove alcohol from the premises. If alcohol is not going to be on the patio, do you see the need for your customers to take alcohol from the restaurant or the lounge?
Well, the plan was to connect with local breweries and do different beers, because I love connecting with different businesses. So it just gave me an opportunity to open up and connect with different businesses. So I would connect with a few breweries and have those their local brewery, their beers inside the location to be able to sell to go. So that's kind of why I applied for that one. Again, every time I get in business, I always think of how can my business connect with other business to grow. So that was the thought of why I did that.
Okay, thank you. Again, what I do is, one, know you as a reputable business owner and entrepreneur, first of all, but also understanding the heartburn that the neighborhood might have about having a new business owner. But then I'm also thinking about the previous business that operated there and there being no problems. And then you saying that you're willing to work with the neighborhood, which is always a great sign for us, because I sit on the law committee with Councilmember Begley and Councilmember Melton, and so we see tavern reports come and have to deal with problem establishments. I don't expect that from you, just knowing who you are as a person and as a reputable business owner. But I do think that conversation with Soma could go a long way to just ensuring that you guys are all on the same page.
I agree.
Thank you. I don't have any further questions, Councilmember.
Thank you. Councilmember Harding, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Nunn. I have a couple questions, and maybe I missed something up front, but explain to me where's the food actually prepared for this establishment?
We have a kitchenette in there with a few different cooking equipments that we use. We serve Philly cheesesteak egg rolls, loaded saucy fries, smoked steak or pork barbecue sandwiches. So a lot of our stuff is smoked. I still do have a commissary kitchen use at No More Empty Pots, which I continue to use there. So a lot of my prep for the food truck, if anyone was wondering, that comes from there. So I don't do a lot of prepping in the lounge. The food truck and the lounge is separate. So in the lounge, we just prep out of the kitchenette that we do have. And the fire inspector did come see the equipment I had, and he did approve the equipment I have to use. And we've been operating in there as far as the food side of things for about, I would say about 45 days, and it's been going pretty well. We haven't had no noise complaints. I don't use a generator when I do have the truck around. We have a solar power generator, so it's just a click of a button.
So, okay, I'm still a little confused. So will there be a food truck or food trucks in the parking lot that will be preparing the food, and then they order there and then they bring it in? And
So no, the plan is to cook inside, but I do have a plan to, as the business grow, inviting other trucks to come and sell food from their food truck, like in the lounge parking lot, to be able to eat inside the lounge. But that's in the future to come. But there's no trucks operating as far as when I get going as far as in the lounge.
okay, hold on just a minute if you wouldn't mind. So, Mr. Fanslaw, this is it's zone DS with the ACI 1 overlay. So, downtown service, what you just heard Mr. Nunn describe as how the business may operate, would that be allowed in that zoning jurisdiction to sell or have the food trucks park there and sell?
It's, yes. Food trucks are allowed in that zoning district. I don't know the particulars about how long they can be at one location, how often they have to move if they park in the street.
That's actually another issue we'll be dealing with.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, as far as the business itself, yeah, it's an allowed use in that zoning district.
Okay. Okay, just one other point. I don't know, I think I heard you say this. I want to make sure, I don't know the liquor laws inside and out, but you might want to check and see how you can directly deal with different beer vendors, because I think you have to go through a distributor to do that. You can't just switch it out like that, as far as I understand, but please check on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. That's all I have right now. Thanks.
Thanks. Councilmember Hug, you're recognized.
So you have not met with Soma?
No, I have not. I met him today.
Excuse me. I believe you're a man of your word, but I guess I would feel a little more comfortable if we laid this over for a week and gave this gentleman an opportunity to sit down with Soma, get everything ironed out, and have him come back next week. Would that be possible?
That was going to be my suggestion after.
Well, I second your motion.
I got a few more questions, though, but that was going to be part of my ask of Mr. Nunn.
Okay, do you want to make the motion, or?
I'll make, well, I can't make the motion, but I'll come back to you if I can. Do you have other questions?
No, that was just my suggestion. Was let's lay it over for a week, let him meet with Soma, get everything smoothed out and worked out, so hopefully Soma can be happy.
Thanks.
And come back and thank you, Mr. President.
Sorry. Thank you, Councilmember Hug. Mr. Nunn, in light of my colleagues' questions and Mr. Thomas and the faithful people that live down there, if I lay this over for a week, I think we're good on that, Madam Clerk, correct? Yep. Okay. If I make a motion to lay this over for a week, would you pledge to meet with Mr. Thomas and the Soma residents to have a good question and answer session? Because I think when you and I talked, I felt a little more comfortable, but with what people came down and had questions on, I think it's fair that you have the chance to go and address those with them if you are willing to meet with them next Monday.
Yes, I'm willing. I told him when I met him today that I was willing to meet with them and answer any questions, so yes.
I appreciate that. And I do want to make a motion to lay it over for weeks to give you the chance to get together. I'll call you up just a minute. To have that conversation, because there's questions that I think can be flushed out once you understand where you're coming from and the residents there understand. And I want to make clear, Mr. Kuzi, just to reiterate for us, if we pass this next week with a recommendation, if it's 6-0 or 7-0 from the council, what does that mean for the Liquor Commission and the business?
Matt Kuzi with the Law Department. One thing before I forget, because if I don't say it, the clerk will, you aren't able to make a motion. But back to your original question, the council serves as a recommending body when it comes to liquor licenses. So the recommendation of the council will be sent down to the Liquor Control Commission in Lincoln, who will ultimately make the final decision about whether to issue the license or not.
Thank you. Councilmember Hug, I'm going to recognize you again.
I make a motion to lay this over until next week.
Second.
We have a motion to lay over for 1 week. And before we vote on it, can I call Mr. Thomas back up?
Thank you. I just wanted to make the record, after hearing him talk about bringing other food trucks in those parking lots, we are not going to stand for that. You know, the generators going from other trucks, I'm concerned about his generator on this food truck. I don't know if it's quiet or not. Also in this, do you intend to sell cocktails as to-go items under Nebraska statute? And he says yes. So he talks about in the plan, other off-sale in the original package being carried off the premise. I'm against off-sale liquor. I don't remember the restaurant ever at a restaurant that sold alcohol ever at the storage lofts. I mean, that was news. This news to us that there was an establishment there already, previously.
Okay.
I'm just making the record clear. That's it for now.
Okay, and Mr. Nunn, and you talked, are you willing, I'm assuming you're good to meet with them
Absolutely.
before next Tuesday?
Yep.
Because we laid over a week, so I appreciate you doing that, Mr. Nunn, and coming down today. And this is important for the residents who live there to understand your business and to have that good communication that it looks like we need just a little more of it, and we have time to lay it over according to the clerk. So we had a motion and a second to lay over for 1 week. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Rowe. Festerson.
Yes.
Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0.
Point of clarification, do we come back next week then
No.
It's
for another hearing?
Public hearing is closed. It's a vote next week.
Okay, thank
Yep.
you.
And you can certainly submit letters of support or opposition or whatever you want to do.
Thank you, Council.
Thanks for being here.
Item 10, to consider a Class C liquor license for Shredder's Pizza located at 8725 Shamrock Road.
Public hearing is now open on item number 10. Is the applicant here today?
Ryan Kincaid, Shredders, 8725 Shamrock Road, Countryside Village.
Thank you. Are there any proponents here today? Item 10. Seeing none, are there any opponents? Used to be mine.
Good afternoon. Omaha City Council, Donnie R. Johnson, the Johnson Equestrian Foundation, and North Omaha Concerned Citizen Foundation, 4928 North 52nd Street. You know, we all grew up with this song, Mamma Mia, that's a pizzeria. But we notice they keep raising the taxes on tobacco. When are you going to raise the taxes on alcohol?
Thank you. Are there any other proponents on item 10? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed. Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Rowe. Festerson. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 11, to consider a Class IK liquor license for Creighton University.
Oh, great. All right.
Oh.
Thank you. You bet.
Item 11, to consider a Class IK liquor license for Creighton University Softball Stadium located at 802 Florence Boulevard.
Public hearing is now open on item 11. Is the applicant here today on Zoom? Okay, we have Miss Tierney and Miss DeWalt. Can one of you hear us and identify yourself, name and address?
Good afternoon, Kathy DeWalt. This is for Creighton University Softball Stadium located at 802 Florence Boulevard, Omaha, 68178.
Thank you. Are there any proponents on item 11? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Rowe. Festerson.
Yes.
Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 12 Item 12, to consider a Class A liquor license for Godfather's Pizza, 28033, located at 3141 North 108th Street.
Public hearing is now open on item 12. Applicant, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. President and members of the City Council. My name is John Zimmer with Klein Williams Law Firm, and I'm appearing before you today on behalf of Godfather's Pizza, Inc. with respect to items 12 and 13 for the locations stated therein.
Thank you. Did you have an address?
Yes, sure. Yes, yes, Mr. President. You can put our office address at 12910 Pierce Street, Suite 200.
Thanks. Are there any proponents here on item 12? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed. Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Rowe. Festerson.
Yes.
Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 13, to consider a Class A liquor license for Godfather's Pizza, 28034, located at 2117 South 67th Street, Building 4.
Public hearing is now open on item 13. Applicant?
John Zimmer of Klein Williams on behalf of Godfather's Pizza, 12910 Pierce Street, Suite 200.
Thank you. Any proponents here on item 13? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed. Motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Rowe. Festerson. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Items 14 through 16 can be considered together for a grass pad located northwest of Park Road and Main Street. Planning Board and Planning Department recommend approval. Items 14 and 15, resolutions to approve the preliminary plat and final plat. Item 16, a resolution to approve the subdivision agreement.
Public hearings for items 14 through 16 are now open. Applicant or proponent?
Yeah, Ben Drews, 10836 Old Mill Road, here on behalf of the applicant.
Thank you. Are there any proponents on items 14 through 16? Seeing none, are there any opponents?
Good afternoon, Omaha City Council. Donnie R. Johnson, the Johnson Equestrian Foundation, North Omaha Concerned Citizen Foundation, 4928 North 52nd Street. Now, on this green grass patch, can we mention to the fact on Martha Street that Mr. Rowe and myself, in 1965, they was teaching us how to grow plants in space at a school.
Donnie, we got to stick to the agenda items 14 through 16.
Well, I'm trying to get around to the growing things in space and how we was learning this, taught this in the 60s. And can we get back to some medical marijuana programs?
Okay, thank you. Are there any other proponents on items 14 through 16? Or opponents, I beg your pardon. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. And a motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Rowe. Festerson. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 17, a resolution to approve a major amendment to the special use permit to allow outdoor sports and recreation in an AG district located at 2410 South 217th Street. Planning Board and Planning Department recommend approval. B is communication in opposition. C is communication.
Public hearing is now open. Before I call for proponents, is the applicant here? There he is. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Ben Drews, TD2 Engineering, 10836 Old Mill Road.
Thank you. Are there any proponents here on item 17? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed. Motion and second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Rowe. Festerson. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 18, a resolution to approve a special use permit to allow automotive sales in the CC District located at 4801 Q Street. Planning Board and Planning Department recommend approval.
Public hearing is now open on item 18. Is the applicant here today? Are there any proponents here on item 18? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed. Councilmember Hug, you're recognized.
Is the applicant here? Representative of the applicant? Well, in that case, I'll make a motion to lay this over for 2 weeks. Hopefully, we can get the applicant here.
Had a motion and a second for a 2-week layover.
June 16th.
Will that work, Madam Clerk?
Motion is second for a 2-week layover to June 16th. Roll call.
Goodwin.
Yes.
Harding.
Yes.
Hug.
Yes.
Rowe. Festerson.
Yes.
Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 19, a resolution to approve a special use permit to allow a daycare in the R3 district located at 107-120 O Street. Planning Board and Planning Department recommend approval.
Public hearing is now open on item 19. The applicant, good afternoon.
Hi, Rachel Hunt, 10712 O Street, Omaha, Nebraska. I'm the applicant.
Thank you. Are there any proponents here on item 19?
Lucas Though, 3727 North 108th Street. Benefited greatly from the availability of reasonably affordable daycare when growing up, and this expansion supports that in the city.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents on item 19? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed. Motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Rowe. Festerson. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Consent agenda. Any member of the City Council may cause any item placed on the consent agenda to be removed. Items removed from the consent agenda shall be taken up by the City Council immediately following the consent agenda in the order in which they were removed, unless otherwise provided by the City Council Rules of Order.
The public hearings and agenda items 20 through 24 were held on May 19, 2026. Any discussion? Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Rowe. Festerson. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0.
The public hearings and agenda items 25 through 54 today. If you wish to address the City Council regarding these items, please come to the microphone, indicate the agenda number you wish to address, identify yourself by your name, address, who you represent, and if you're a proponent or opponent. Public hearing is now open. And I'm sorry, so we had a, so it was 25 through 40 and 42 through 50?
Yeah, 41 and 50 were removed.
Okay, so we removed.
Sorry, 41 and 51.
41 and 51 were removed from the consent agenda. So we'll vote on those separately. Okay, thank you. Are there any proponents right now?
Good afternoon, Omaha City Council. Congratulations, Mr. Harding, on your win and for the U.S. House of Representatives. In the meantime, number 38 here. The reason why, or let me go back for a second. Address 4928 North 52nd, Donnie R. Johnson, Johnson Equestrian Foundation, and North Omaha Concerned Citizen Foundation. You know, the reason in the 60s why they call us the flower children, because we can grow anything. And that means that, number 38, if they spend more time, we can teach them how we learned at Central Park, me and Mr. Rowe, how to grow plants in space.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Rowe. Festerson. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 41, a resolution to approve the supplemental agreement number 3 for the North 24th Street Streetscape, Ohio Street to Sailor Street project.
Council discussion. Oh, I'm sorry. I always get confused on that when we take them off. Public hearing is now open on item 41. Are there any proponents? Seeing none, are there any opponents on item 41? Public hearing is closed. Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Rowe. Festerson. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Goodwin abstains.
Public hearing is open on item number 51. Are there any proponents? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed.
Matt Kuzi Law Department, there's a floor amendment that the Law Department is requesting to this ordinance. There was a document that was mistakenly omitted from the original agreement that needs to be included in the agreement in order to effectuate this deal. So the Law Department would ask if a council member could make a floor amendment for that. If you need to have it or see it, the clerk has it in her possession, and obviously Ms. Taylor is here as well to assist.
Thank you. Ms. Taylor, any comments or any questions, council members?
Jennifer Taylor, City Law Department. I'm happy to answer any questions the council may have. As Mr. Kuzi indicated, this was just inadvertently excluded from the documents that were sent to the clerk. The agreement effectuates essentially what the council considered and approved when we did the redevelopment plan a couple of months ago. And as we discussed at that time, a significant amount of work has been done on the 8th and Douglas site to install utilities, do sewer work, et cetera, and basically prepare the site for development. So the city has benefited from that work, and we simply want to reimburse New Style for those efforts. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Councilmember Harding, you're recognized.
Thank you. What was the item, exhibit or language that was not included, or what we're asked to be considering to? Thank you. Is this for everyone?
No.
That's just it? That's the whole thing?
That's the whole thing.
But Jennifer, what was not included?
It was the form of the agreement itself. So what you have in your hand is the 4-page agreement that obligates the city to make that reimbursement payment.
Is there any reason we shouldn't lay this over for a week?
You're free to lay it over for a week if you'd like to review that.
I'd move, yeah, I would certainly, yes, I'm not going to be handed this, and so I'll make a motion to lay over for 1 week.
Got a motion and a second to lay over item 51 for 1 week. No further lights. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Rowe. Festerson. Mr. President.
Aye.
Appreciate it, and please let me know if you
Motion
have
passed
questions.
6-0. Item 55, an ordinance to amend Section 23-127 of the Omaha Municipal Code entitled Personnel to permit city employees to fundraise for nonprofit organizations during working hours. A is communications in support, B is communications in opposition, C is amendment of the whole requested by the Law Department.
Council discussion on item 55. Councilmember Harding, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I was, unfortunately, I was not here for the public hearing, but I did watch the replay. I do have a couple questions, and then I've also had some discussions with Mr. Towie about this too, so I don't think any of my comments will probably be a surprise, but Mr. Kuzi, I know we have I think not one, but two different opinions from the NADC, the Nebraska Accountability and Disclosure Commission, on this very issue. Could you remind us what those two opinions stated and when they were, and who they specifically addressed?
Matt Kuzi Law Department. The first opinion from the NADC came about in 2010. This ordinance, the current version of the ordinance, was being considered by the council, and a member of the council, it might have been Councilmember Gray at that time, asked the Law Department to get an opinion from the NADC because the issue of the firefighters doing the multiple muscular dystrophy associations Fill the Boot campaign came up. So the law department requested an advisory opinion from the NADC, which they issued in approximately 2010. The NADC's opinion on that matter from 2010 was that, specifically as it related to the firefighters' request to do that, was that the Fill the Boot campaign for MDA did not fall within the mission of the fire department or for the city of Omaha and would not be permissible under Nebraska law. There's a Nebraska statute, 49-14101.01 subsection 2, that specifically prohibits the use of public resources and public funds to be used for private matters, which the NADC opined both that the firefighters' time and the use of any equipment constituted public funds, public resources, and that the MDA was a private matter. So fast forwarding now to 2026, Mayor Ewing asked the law department with regards to the amendment to this ordinance to seek an opinion from the NADC about whether this new ordinance drafted by the law department basically changed their mind, if it would give them a different impression, or if the way that this ordinance was written would give, have them give a different opinion. While admittedly the opinion that we received is not a full-blown advisory opinion from the NADC, but as indicated in their document, it's a staff opinion prepared by their attorney, which was reviewed by, I believe, their executive director and chair of their board before issuing. The NADC in this 2026 opinion reaffirmed their position from 2010. They find that this ordinance is not legal in their opinion, and they further go on to say again now for the second time that the Omaha Fire Department cannot engage in the MDA Fill the Boot campaign as it does not fall within their mission. So long answer to your question, but I think I covered everything.
Okay, I'll note too that in 2010 and 2026, there were two different executive directors of the NADC. And the point of that is that two different people, I think, or two different administrators looked at the information and came to the same conclusion. So, and this is what I was prepared to say at the public hearing that I couldn't attend, is that, look, the desire to work for a charitable cause such as MDA is to be commended. I think we all owe it to give back to our communities in some way, whether it be for Muscular Dystrophy Association or Cancer Society or the Heart Association or whatever it is. But truly, as a charity or to do that charitable work, I think within that term, charitable work, it means it's kind of to give outside of what you're normally doing and not necessarily using city funds or city assets in the execution of that charitable work. And it's, again, I think the way this is set up too is it's got to go to, if we were to pass this ordinance, that it would then go to the personnel board. The policy, the city policy would have to be amended. It would have to go to the personnel board. The personnel board would then have to vote on it. They could vote to not recommend it, and then it would still come to this body to be considered at that point. But coming to us with a negative recommendation, I don't know if anyone's had a chance to see if that would require a supermajority, or meaning at least 5 votes for the council to pass it with a negative recommendation, or if it would just require a simple majority. But either way, if it comes to this body with the negative recommendation, I think this council has to take that seriously as to whether or not to override the Personnel Board's decision not to recommend approval. Knowing that, I think you could probably make the argument it's a little bit of a cart in front of horse. Maybe the process should be that it goes to Personnel Board first before it comes to us. And then secondly, with the NADC's opinion in 2010 and then reaffirmed, if you will, in 2026, it seems we're treading into legal waters that I don't think that we would prevail on. So I'll ask Mr. Kuzi, if this were to come to that point of a legal challenge, would the city take that on itself, or would you have to go to outside counsel to defend it?
A couple answers to your questions. One is, and this is an important reminder, that violation of this statute, which the NADC's lawyer at least and some of their governing body consider to be a violation. Like, violation of this section of the statute is a criminal offense. It is a Class 3 misdemeanor, which does carry a possibility of jail time. Now, whether the NADC decides to take that type of enforcement action is a decision for the NADC and not something of which I have any control over in that regard. But with regard to your other question, should the council adopt this ordinance and it is passed and, you know, not vetoed by the mayor or anything like that, and it becomes law, then it's the law department's position to defend this ordinance against any sort of challenge. Now, that being said, due to recent times and with regard to litigation, I can tell you that the law department is incredibly overworked right now and is buried in litigation for various matters. As city attorney, if there was a lawsuit, I would have to consider the possibility of hiring outside counsel to handle this lawsuit should the Attorney General or NADC, I'm not really sure who would necessarily take the lead on that, would decide to file some sort of action against the city to prohibit or inhibit the execution of this ordinance.
Okay. I'll reiterate just one more time that it seems that if we were to adopt this, even with the reduction of the number of how many groups could be approved within each department, first of all, again, the underlying issue I have with this is that we're using city personnel, city finances, city assets to perform that charitable work. If we were a private business, that's the private business ownership's decision. But this is the taxpayers that we're talking about. And I think we owe a fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayers to take that into consideration when we're looking at doing this. But in addition to that, we end up kind of picking and choosing which charities we want to support and which charities we don't want to support. And I have a fundamental issue with that. So I will not be supportive of this in spite of the good intentions of FIRE and their relationship with MDA. I'll be happy to have, I tried to catch Trevor before this, but happy to have a conversation. I have an idea for him afterwards to consider, but I will not be able to support it for the reasons I've stated. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Rowe, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I made comments at the public hearing that I don't think my thoughts have changed. I think that, Mr. Kuzi said that the fire department couldn't do a campaign, but I think they could do a campaign. They just couldn't do it on company time. They could do it representing themselves as the firefighters, and I'm sure it would be a successful campaign. So I don't think that bothers me at all. I think we could do it on our own time. I did read through the opinion of the NADC, and it does concern me as well as Mr. Harding represented. And I think if we just ignore that opinion, I mean, there could be unintended, I use the word unintended consequences quite a bit. There could be consequences for us if we do pass this ordinance as it is written. I think the idea of raising money for MDA is admirable. I think it's a great organization. They do great work. That's not the issue. But I think it does expose us to a potential lawsuit. I think probably a pretty good probability that we would be sued over this. And so I'm going to make a motion to place this on file.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. We got to vote on that now. Or can we keep, there's others in the queue.
We can still do the discussions.
Say again. Okay, thanks. We had a motion and a second to place on file. Councilmember Goodwin, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. We did have a robust discussion about this in our previous council session. And, you know, the situation puts the council in a precarious situation because I think all of us support MDA. And that's not really what's the question here. It's can we ignore the NADC is really what it comes down to, and also the principle of whether city time, city equipment can be utilized for fundraising. I don't necessarily have a problem with that as it pertains to the history of the firefighters with MDA. I dare say that relationship probably predates most public fundraising activities, especially when you start intertwining it with media and television. Again, we all remember Jerry's Kids growing up on Labor Day. We talked with Council Member Begley about narrowing the scope because 15 was very broad. The amendment covers 3, but now you get into is the council voting to move forward in violation of a criminal offense, and that's a big question. And that's where I have a lot of pause. Now, there was not formal discussion, but I did hear Councilmember Harding say he had some ideas about how perhaps we can still support it outside of this framework, because I think that, again, it's not the question of supporting MDA and the firefighters, relationship there. It's all of this within this ordinance that we've got to consider and take very seriously. And so I just wanted to frame where I'll be coming from as I've been digesting the information, conversations with Mr. Towie, conversations with Councilmember Begley, hearing our legal opinion. Where I take pause is that violation is a criminal offense, especially this body has to run everything we do by NADC. So those are my thoughts regarding it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Hug, you're recognized.
In 2010, Frank Daly was Director of County Bill and Disclosure. I assure you, the director prior to him, Tim Dempsey, would have disagreed with his opinion. Frank Daly's a fine guy. I know him. But opinions are just that. They're just opinions. What matters is reality. And the reality is thousands of fire departments across the country permit their firefighters to do what they have been doing since, correct me if I'm wrong, firefighters, since 1954, all the way across the country. In my personal opinion, when the city stopped allowing this to happen, I believe, in my personal opinion, that was a political decision, nothing more. I don't see much difference to what the firefighters want to continue to do than what we have other city employees, if you will, allow them to do. Shop with a cop, pop with a cop, popcorn with a cop. police helicopters showing up at quasi-public private events. I don't see much difference between those two efforts. The public sees the firefighters out on the street doing good for the community. I think, again, as I said last week, I think this has just been over-lawyered and been complicated, and trying to find a pathway out of a political decision 16 years ago. So I'm sorry we got to put you guys, your men and women, sorry we have to put you through this. I firmly believe your hearts are in the right place. Now, it's been suggested, oh, you guys can do it on your off time. The city requires the firefighters of this city to work their shift and then some. I don't know what the overtime is, but I know they're working overtime just like the Omaha police officers are. We should not have to burden them unnecessarily to use their personal time that they need for rest, relaxation, and spend with their families. The firefighter's role, duty, and job is the most unique city employee role in this city. I think if we had the power to do an executive order, I would say let's just do a city council executive order and let's let them do it. We'd be in line with the thousands of fire department agencies across the country. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Harding, you're recognized.
Thank you. So maybe one of the questions that needs to be asked are, and Trevor, if you want to answer it, if the question is, can firefighters do this while they're on duty?
Trevor Towie, Professional Firefighters, Omaha, 6005 Grover Street. To answer your question, yeah, we do. We already do that since 2010. I've had a great MDA committee led by Rob Anderson. He's here today to come up with all kinds of different fundraisers. We do golf tournaments on our days off. We do steak fries on our day off. We do bowling on our day off. We've committed to this organization since 1954. That's already been stated. We're not just going to give up on them. The point about this, which was just brought up by Mr. Hugg, we already work 900 more hours than the average city employee. The overtime's through the roof right now. We've got 20 people on overtime every single day. We're doing a lot. This doesn't hurt the operations of the fire department. That's why we did it for 30, 40 years prior to 2010. That's why over 700 other departments do it this way now. Why should Omaha, I'm kind of getting off on your question, sir, but why should Omaha be any different than the way we were before? Why Omaha, when we're considered to be such a charitable city, such a giving city, why are we the city that's excluding our firefighters from doing that, unlike everywhere else in the country?
All right, thank you. Well, again, you appreciate all that the firefighters do, all that the police do, all the city employees do in their charitable work on their time. And I think you even said that you do a number of those activities like the steak fries and the golf tournaments and things like that not on duty. So, and that's again, I think a little bit of what I was saying earlier is, for that charitable work. I mean, there are a lot of people who work a lot of hours in different organizations, but on their own personal time, they give back to the community as well, too. So I appreciate those efforts that those people do, as well as all the efforts that the firefighters do on their own time. It's exactly what you said of what makes our city so great is we have a very charitable and philanthropic community, and we're all a part of that. So I appreciate that. But I guess the closing statement I had is, again, when asked for an opinion from the NADC in 2010 and then again in 2026, there was not one previously asked of that. And I think it's irresponsible to say that they know how a director would have considered a question about this issue they're not here to corroborate or defend or deny that that would have been their position. So I think that's that's not even a germane to this subject.
Thank you. I got a question for Mr. Kuzy.
Matt Kuzy, Law Department.
When you and I talked, Mr. Kuzy, and you referenced a 2010 opinion, that's a staff opinion in 2010, correct?
The 2010 one, I think, was, I'll use the term a full-blown advisory opinion. Like, it went to the NADC, the full membership, and they voted on it, and that became it. So I'm using that term, a full-blown advisory opinion, where the one that, the 2026 one that we've been referencing is a staff opinion, because time wasn't the time frame that we were operating under wasn't going to necessarily work for a full-blown advisory opinion. So it's an opinion written by their lawyer, but reviewed by their executive director, who I don't know who that is, and their board chairman, who I also don't know who that is. So I guess if you're looking for if there was a difference between the two, that would be the difference between the two.
They're opinions, right?
Both of them, yes, are opinions, correct.
Thank you. Long answer, but they were opinions. And I can respect the NADC and the work they do and the hard work they do. But I also, when you and I talked about this ordinance that's before us today, I believe you said you threaded the needle in order to try to comply with 2010 or any laws that's before us. So this ordinance before us, is it fair to say you tried to thread the needle that would be on legal grounds for the city here today?
I would say that this ordinance represents the law department's / my best attempt to craft an ordinance that would fit within the statute, fit within how the NADC has interpreted this statute using some language from the prior opinion, and obviously the NADC has made their feelings known on my work, but that was my attempt, was to take the statutory language, relevant cases, and especially NADC opinion number 199 into account when crafting this ordinance.
How many attorneys do you have in the city attorney's office underneath you?
Both divisions.
22.
For both the criminal division and the civil division, I'm going to say, and this probably makes me a bad department head, but I'd say 25-ish.
Okay, you're close enough. So
if I knew that question was coming, I could have counted.
I try to throw a curveball at you. So back to what you crafted before us here today. It's, let's say it passes. There is talk in here about potential criminal prosecution. Let's say it passes and some firefighters are out, or somebody from city law or public works is out for an hour of time granted to do what's before us here today. If they're in violation, according to a staff opinion of the NADC, are you going to send Chief Schmatter to arrest somebody, or Sheriff Hansen? Or how does that work? Just help me understand the potential criminal prosecution. What does that mean?
Sure. I do not see this being an issue that Chief Schmatter and the Omaha Police Department would get involved, that Sharon Hansen and the Douglas County Sheriff's Office would get involved, or even the City Prosecutor's Office or the County Attorney's Office. However, what I could envision being the situation is this is a violation of state law, which would allow the Attorney General and his office, who prosecutes crimes, throughout the state, to have the State Patrol issue citations to people engaging in this conduct. If you're asking me for what the worst possible case scenario would be, that would be that the Attorney General's office would institute criminal proceedings against whatever city employee who's doing this and have the State Patrol issue citations for that.
Okay, so police chief's eliminated, Douglas County Sheriff's eliminated.
I don't want to say they're eliminated. They could do it, but it's highly unlikely.
Understood. So Attorney General Hilgers, if he's the other body here, if firefighters are out with the boot, the Attorney General can say, State Patrol, please go to this location and issue a criminal misdemeanor for, we feel they're in violation of the law. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yes, the Attorney General does have the ability to enforce state law and can ask or request that the State Patrol issue citations.
Okay. And again, the ordinance is written not only, this isn't for firefighters, but they're a big part of it. It's for all city departments, and if this passes, then the directors will have tight rails on this, on what is or isn't allowed, as well as the mayor. I'm assuming that's a policy you're going to work on if this is passed. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. It would apply to any city employee. I think the only reason that the firefighters got highlighted was because that the NADC has on 2 occasions says that the Fill the Boot campaign doesn't fit. So that's going to be a major concern that the fire chief is going to have to consider when this request is made if the ordinance passes.
Okay, thanks for that. And I guess I'll maybe not totally close, but I'll say that this isn't maybe the most perfect ordinance, but as you said, you threaded the needle. And how long have you been practicing law, Mr. Kuzi?
Thank you for asking. It'll be 25 years this September.
All right. I got full faith in you in the event the council's will is to pass this today. And if there's any challenges legally, it isn't out of disrespect to the NADC or the Attorney General or any other body, but it's because I have faith if this isn't a slam dunk 100%, I'm confident if there's court issues to deal with this, and I have, as I always do, full faith in you and the 25-ish attorneys that you have under you. Thank you. Councilmember Harding, you're recognized.
And you still learn something new every day, don't you, Mr. Kuzi?
Yes, and I like to share that knowledge with others.
All right. So two more items. If this wouldn't take effect until, when would this likely take effect because of the date that's moved on it, Mr. Kuzi?
In the proposed amendment, that the effective date, I'm drawing a blank now, I think it's been September 1st.
Okay. Was
when this, if passed and approved by the mayor, that this would go into effect on September 1st.
Okay, I was going to say if it put it out past the Labor Day weekend, maybe what we do is ask for that, if you will, full-blown, I'm using your term, opinion rather than the staff opinion. But that doesn't seem like, because of the timing, I won't belabor that point.
I don't know how often the NADC meets. I don't know what their meeting schedule is. I deliberately selected the September 1st date, knowing that it was made abundantly clear that the firefighters want to ask to do that. So I picked a date that was obviously before Labor Day.
Okay. I guess the other thing I'll just throw this out is maybe a workaround for this, so that it is included in the mission, is that it be collectively bargained. Just food for thought if it doesn't pass. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Hug, you're recognized.
I have a flashing blue light.
Yeah, I do too. I did not do that.
I think it means we're done.
I don't see anybody in here from HR. So, Mr. Kuzi, you're going to have to answer questions.
I'll do my best. The microphone's not working. So I'll do
Okay.
We're not Kuzi Law Department.
Does the city participate? Oh, that's not the amendment of the whole. Participate amendment of the whole. United Way.
Do the city participate in United Way?
Does the city, through its employees, participate in United Way?
Well, by participate, if you mean are city employees able to make a payroll deduction to go to United Way, then yes.
Thanks, okay.
They couldn't open mine.
You're more special.
That charitable contribution.
Like who handles the payroll deduction?
Yeah.
The finance department
please?
Yes.
Okay. So we have a charitable organization that is using city resources and city employees to collect donations. Am I correct?
Are you correct that that's what's occurring?
Am I correct in that?
I don't think those are not the terms I would use.
Okay.
Because the NADC,
Is
again,
United Way,
says,
is United Way a charitable organization?
as far as I know, yeah.
Okay. The deduction that the city processes on behalf of the employees, is that a charitable contribution?
I guess I can't accept the overall premise. I understand what you're saying.
Ask the question.
I can't.
Okay, so let me start over. Maybe I'm not making myself clear, and I apologize. I'm just a blue collar guy. So the city participates in United Way. Yes or no?
Yes. I don't know why
Okay.
I'm using the word.
So the employees have the option of making a contribution to United Way through payroll deduction.
Yes.
Okay. United Way is a charitable organization.
Yes.
The city of Omaha is collecting that charitable donation on behalf of United Way.
I take issue with the word collecting, but Mr. Curtis has some great input that he would.
Oh, throw him on the fire. Mr. Curtis.
Well, he runs the finance department.
Hi, Steve Curtis, City Finance. I was actually waving him down. The way that actually works is an employee would decide, yeah, I'd like to give an amount of $10 of my paycheck, each paycheck, to United Way. It's set up actually in the system, and it's all done electronically, including remittance to the United Way.
So city employees' resources and city equipment is being utilized to collect charitable contributions.
Although I would argue it's the de minimis amount of effort.
But there is a cost to it. Somebody has to process those. Somebody has to write that check. Somebody has to audit to make sure the deductions and the contributions all line up.
The system writes the check, but.
Okay, the system writes a check, but somebody has to enter it in to make sure it's correct.
The very first time. Yes. And the city doesn't really participate in that collection, meaning the actual participant is the employee.
Regardless if it's a penny or $1,000, there's a cost. Correct? So what I'm hearing is the opinion from County Disclosure makes that activity illegal.
Doesn't.
That's not what the opinion
Well,
said.
let's get an opinion. Let's ask
Can we
them.
please keep it quiet in the audience, or I'll have you removed, please? Thank you.
Let's ask them for an opinion, because I don't see much difference between allowing a firefighter to hold the boot on a corner and the city processing charitable contributions for another charitable organization. Now, granted, whoever's in Steve Curtis's office may not be holding a boot, but somebody's processing those payroll deductions, somebody's auditing those payroll deductions, somebody has to make that happen. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. There's a malfunction, I think. No further lights. So we had a motion and a second to place on file. Was that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Mr. Hug, is your light on?
I don't
think,
Okay.
yeah, the microphone.
Are we, is anybody else? I want to make sure I'm not missing lights if they're pushing, because I think this thing's, okay. I don't know who seat number 17 is, but not a council member. So we had a motion and a second to place item 55 on file. Roll call.
Goodwin. Yes. Harding.
Yes.
Hug.
No.
Rowe.
Yes.
Festerson.
No.
Mr. President.
No.
Motion failed 3-3.
Do we?
Approve
Okay.
that amendment of the whole.
A motion to approve amendment of the whole for item 55.
Second.
You can't make it. You can't make it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I withdraw that. Sorry, Mr. Kuzi, I was seeing if you're listening.
Mr. President, may I
Please.
make the motion to approve as amended?
We had a mo,
Amendment as a whole. Thank you for correcting Mr. Brinker.
I'll second.
Roll call.
I'm sorry, okay, roll call.
Goodwin.
No.
Harding.
No.
Hug.
Yes.
Rowe. Festerson.
Yes.
Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion fails 3-3. Item 56, resolution to approve the line extension agreement with Omaha Public Power District to provide a new substation and power feeds for the PCW RRF secondary expansion project.
Public hearing is now open on item 56. Are there any proponents?
Good afternoon. Omaha City Council, Donnie R. Johnson, the Johnson Equestrian Foundation, North Omaha Concerned Citizen Foundation, 4928 North 52nd Street. On this number 56, would that also include the wiring from OPPD for the houses in South Omaha and North Omaha for the new electrical cars that we'll be buying? And if they can teach us how to grow plants in space travel, we need
Okay.
a recommendation on this.
All right. Thank you, Donnie.
Yes, sir.
Is there any other proponents on item 56? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed. I'm sorry, were you an opponent? Sorry, I didn't see you. Thanks. Come on down.
Anthony Rogers Wright, 3010 Lincoln Boulevard, Omaha. I guess I would refer to this more as a conditional being against it. I'm just wondering if this particular substation or if the city council has information on if it is going to be used specifically to serve existing or new data centers that are in the area. Thank you.
Mr. Stubbe, do you know the answer to that?
This is related, Bob Stubbe, Public Works. This is specifically related to the Papillion Creek water. The improvements at that facility can require additional, so this is specifically related.
Okay, thank you. Let's see.
Second.
We had a motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Rowe. Festerson. Mr. President.
Abstain.
Motion passed 5-0. Mr. President, abstain. Item 57, a resolution to approve a settlement agreement for Nikisha Jones versus Sergeant Zachary Petrick in the amount of $175,000.
Public hearing is now open on item 57. Are there any proponents? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed.
Move to approve.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Rowe. Festerson. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Item 58, an ordinance to acquire private property for the 4th Street, 120th Street Park Entrance Project.
Public hearing is now, excuse me, open on item 58. Are there any proponents? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed.
Item 59, an ordinance rescinding ordinance number 42693, approving the 406 Woolworth Avenue Townhomes Tax Increment Financing Redevelopment Agreement.
Public hearing is now open on item 59. Mr. Seaton, good afternoon.
Afternoon. Yeah, this project never got off, Don Seaton, Omaha City Planning. This project never really got off the ground, so it needs to be rescinded.
Thank you. Are there any proponents on item 59? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed.
One public hearing can be held for items 60 and 61. Item 60 is an ordinance to approve the Saddle State Marketplace Tax Increment Financing Redevelopment Agreement. Item 61 is an ordinance to designate an enhanced employment area generally located northeast of California at 46th Street. Use communication and support. Use communications in opposition.
Public hearing is now open for items 60 and 61. Proponents, Good afternoon.
Don Seaton, City Planning. I'm here for any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any other proponents?
Good afternoon, Mr. President, members of the council. Larry Jovan, 11440 West Center Road, appearing with the developer, Mitch Holland of Woodsonia. Also, my law partner, Bob Griffith, is here to answer any questions that you might have regarding this redevelopment project.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other proponents on items 60 and 61? Seeing none, are there any opponents?
Lucas So, 3727 North 108th Street. Kind of asked that to move to layover for a few months. The project is not bad per se, but I think having been there for the planning board meeting and seeing that, I don't think it's changed much since then. It probably could use some time to mature, let me put it this way. There were some issues initially where the applicants didn't quite understand the political scope, political geography scope they were getting into. Informally, Dundee actually does kind of extend that far east, even if the formal map doesn't say so. And they hadn't really been talking to anyone in Dundee. So the project probably could use some time to mature, be able to take, sit down, think more about how to incorporate existing long-term tenants as assets, work with the community a little more, maybe be able to take advantage of some stuff that's coming down the pike actually with parking reductions as well.
Thank you. Are there any other opponents?
Good afternoon. My name is Nick Kohler. I'm here by myself. Address is 4806 Dodge Street, apartment 15, Omaha 68132. Having grown up and lived in Dundee my whole life, I was originally against this when it came up the first time, and I'm still against it now. I think one of the things that I really want the city council and the individuals of Omaha to understand is the people that have been there in this area, the people that currently live there, and the businesses, and the people and businesses that we're trying to attract moving forward. Having grown up in Dundee, and around this area in particular, I grew up in 51st and Capitol. I believe Dundee is a really unique place. I've lived in DC, I've lived here, I've lived on the East Coast, and I think Dundee is a special place due to the diversity. Not only racial diversity, socioeconomic diversity, gender diversity, just diversity as a whole. And I really do think it paints one of the best parts of Omaha, where we have individuals from all backgrounds coming together to coexist with one another. I find it really upsetting, especially when Omaha is facing an affordable housing crisis, as we've talked about before, that this project specifically told us to our faces that they are not even considering affordable units. I know we've had conversations, and I'm very proud of the conversations that we're having about TIF moving forward. I think that there is real opportunity for affordable housing. However, as it currently stands, I'm very worried about what this is going to bring, and it's going to displace the individuals that are already there. Also, I'm worried about the current businesses that are there. They're businesses of predominantly immigrant businesses. There's a very affordable grocery store there. I do fear, and I have heard of possible retribution and sort of surprises when it comes to leases for these current businesses here. I want to ensure that the individuals who have been serving our community for as long as they have are protected, and I want to ensure that they are not retributed against or have any sort of unfair disciplinary action happen to them because of this agreement that is moving forward. So I just ask you all, and I ask the individuals here in the city to take that into account. So thank you.
Thank you. Other opponents?
Anthony Rogers, right, 3010 Lincoln Boulevard, Omaha, Nebraska, 68131. First, I think you're about to see some more history today, as me and Mr. Larry are probably about to agree on something, and that doesn't happen too often. I have a lot of concerns about this. First and foremost, this idea of what a blighted community is. As the gentleman before me just stated, this area does include Dundee. And sorry, folks, if Dundee is a blighted area, then Jesus Christ was a white man with blonde hair and blue eyes. We are abusing what we mean by blighted communities for this expansion of TIFs, which State Auditor Foley has already warned us multiple times that we are abusing. Secondly, yes, this issue of affordable housing. You have made some motions by asking the planning department to issue a draft resolution, I believe by September, on either incentivizing or requiring affordable housing units as part of issuing TIFs. I think that the people would like it if you just put a pause on issuing TIFs like candy until the planning department prepares that and the people have an opportunity to review it. Because in the meantime, we're just giving money away and also neglecting the city of much needed tax revenue that we need right now. OPS, $60 million in debt. We have a houseless situation that is still growing, and we have no way except for arresting people on how to build more housing. So I just think that why rush this? You know, and I'd like to hear from the developers, what is the rush of doing this? Are we expecting an influx of people into Omaha between now and September besides the College World Series? I think not. So maybe let's just pause on this. Let's wait until that draft resolution comes from the planning department and start issuing tips in a conditional way, because if developers want to come in to our city and do business, they should be giving something back. As we like to say, Omaha is open for business, but Omaha should not be for sale. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there other opponents?
Larry Storr, 5015 Lafayette Avenue, 68132. And first of all, I want to say that I'm joining a lot of the people from the Gramercy Park Neighborhood Association who have lots of opponents listed that have mailed in to your for your website to be put on the record. I join with them, but I also want to point out something that they do not. The discussion of blighted versus severely blighted versus not blighted. This thing with the south of the Saddle Creek Bridge on Dodge Street is a sham. That is not blighted. I live in that area. I'm in that area 4 or 5 times a day usually. What's blighted is a little ways north. Severely blighted. Never talked about by you people. I invited you one time to take me on a bus ride to show you what was blighted, severely blighted. It's that Walnut Hill area around Hamilton. A large area, clear to 45th Street, maybe further. That is severely blighted. It is nothing's being done about it. The homeless have campments there, breaking through an iron fence that the Vegas Saver shop had to put up to keep them out of their parking lot, but they won't stay out. They roam the neighborhood picking out the trash from every resident that has a trash can out on trash day to build their little encampments with on 46th Street, right next to and behind Mega Saver. They even built fires, which of course those flames could set people's homes on fire.
Larry, I'm going to ask you to need to stay on topic for the 2 items.
The topic is blighting and TIF, okay?
Let's stay on that
So
topic.
what I'm saying is I'm opposed to your party here because it should be applied to 46th Street between Hamilton and Cumming. That's a blighted area. What are you going to do about it?
Thank you. Are there any other opponents here today? Seeing none, Councilmember Fesserson, you're recognized.
Thanks, Mr. President. I appreciate the testimony here today and all the engagement on this project. I think we're all engaged on it because we all care about what happens here.
Pete, can I excuse you? I'm sorry. The public hearing is closed. Councilmember Fesserson, sorry, you're recognized.
Thank you. And this is the 3rd round of testimony we've had on this item, Planning Board, and now twice at City Council over the last 6 months. It's a $103 million redevelopment or reinvestment in a property that definitely needs it. But I hear the concerns being expressed here today, and I've had some myself. I think there are some details that need clarification from our last hearing on this item that I want to review here today. So I hope my colleagues will give me a little bit of latitude to run through a few things. I've spent a lot of time on it because I think it's important. I think, Mr. Holland, I'd like to have you come up as the developer. And where I'd like to start is this question of Family Fare, which is the anchor tenant. To be clear, I've contacted Family Fare for over 6 months in an attempt to keep them here at this site. I'd very much like to see that happen. I think you would too. Unfortunately, it is clear they are leaving. So this redevelopment isn't causing Family Fare to leave. Family Fare is leaving, which necessitates the development. Would that be an accurate thing to say?
Yeah, ultimately we got involved because Family Fare gave notice that they would be leaving this location.
our project.
Mitch, can
has
we get your
nothing to
name and
do-
address for the record?
Yeah, sorry, Danny.
Thanks.
Mitch
Okay.
Holen, 21160 C Street, Elkhorn, Nebraska, 68022. I'm the developer of the project. But to answer your question, Councilman Festerson, Family Fair is leaving. It's not a result of our project. They've closed several Omaha locations. I think they will continue to close Omaha locations. We're ultimately involved in an effort to make sure that box gets filled and bring redevelopment to this site.
That's my understanding too, having talked to them directly. They've never expressed an interest to stay, and they have closed 3 other locations just recently, and I believe that's the intent here. Some have said the city wants to see that happen. That can't be further from the truth. I'd love to see Family Fair stay here, and grocery in particular. And we've talked about that a little bit. When it closes, there is an interest in maintaining grocery here, right?
Yes.
Is there an update on that for us with your, conversations with potential tenants?
Not yet. I mean, we're doing a significant amount of mixed-use development across Nebraska and the Midwest right now. Grocery is a great component of that to have. I'd like to see grocery as part of this project. I can't commit to it. There is a 85,000 square foot grocery store directly south of this, so I do think there's a significant grocery component to that area already. That's probably why Family Fair is not performing, but we would like to see grocery, at least in some format, be a part of this project.
So you're still pursuing that?
We are.
And it's interesting to bring up that example because I have thought about that too. Having some history along that corridor, just down the street was a Target that was very popular back in the day and closed. And that property languished for years, not having another tenant until it was redeveloped as the Walmart neighborhood grocery. So that was a positive development there, but I wouldn't want to see this property languish in that respect. Let's talk about the other current tenants. I'm very interested in that too and very sensitive to the diversity they represent and what they bring to that community. I think that's a strength. We've talked about what all can we do to make sure they stay as viable businesses and be successful in that area should this project be approved. We've gone to the unusual extent of having the city law department actually review those leases, and I thank you for letting us do that because that's not something you had to do. And in its review, it has determined that the current tenants have a range of about 2027 to 2032 in terms of the terms on those leases. And in our conversations and in our last public hearing, you've committed to honor those terms.
Yes.
And you'll commit to that again today?
Yeah, we are fully committed to honoring all leases in place. That's part of why we have a phased redevelopment here. We're not kicking any tenants out, so various components of this development will move forward at different stages, which will allow for transition.
And it is a phased project that's being proposed, and the part at which those businesses could be impacted is how far out? 2028, 2029?
Depending on the phase. So right now, the Family Fair box will be empty by the end of the year. That will happen regardless of our project. In terms of I'll call it the Western Strip Center, which is on the west side of the project, there's tenants in there with term through 2031. And we're going to honor those leases. So at the earliest, it would be at that date. For the tenants along, I'll call it the east side, which is along Saddle Creek, those have tenancy through 2028. So you could see that piece of the project move forward at that point. But there are a number of existing businesses we would like to see stay as part of this project. So it'll be a bit of musical chairs in terms of how we kind of phase that and move them around. We've looked at trying to keep some of these existing buildings, and it's just not feasible. A couple of these tenants are responsible for a few of these pieces and have exorbitant maintenance costs. That's not what we want to do. We don't want to do lipstick on a pig type of solution here. We really want to do true reinvestment. So the Family Fair box will be redeveloped, and then we'll phase the other 2 portions of it and hopefully keep some of the tenants in the process.
And to be clear, the city cannot alter current leases, and it can't commit you to future leases. But I wanted to make sure we had that on the record because I think that's very important. You're going to do all you can to accommodate these current businesses, right?
Correct. We're in discussions with all the existing tenants. Many of them, we said, hey, if you choose to relocate now, we're happy to let you out of your lease. Otherwise, we'd like to work with you to either phase you into it long term or help with the transition any way we feasibly can.
And conversely, it's also true that tenants must be compliant with lease language, right? We're not asking you to do something that is not compliant with a legal document, but we want to see you work with them to the greatest extent possible. And I think you have. I think you've shown that over the last week.
Yeah.
But I want to see that continue.
Yep.
And then at our last meeting, you can probably sit for this portion, I think, we had a lot of conversation about if this is approved, what does it do to the site? Because the site does need a lot of improvements, and it is very concerning from a pedestrian standpoint, pedestrian safety. And a lot of people do walk to these businesses and around the neighborhood. So we worked on that a lot since last time. As I mentioned, the proposed rezone would go from general industrial to CC and an MCC overlay, which in itself has many positives because absent that change, an industrial use could come to this site as it's currently zoned, and I don't think any of us want to see that. Councilman Bagley and I met with the lot apartments and the developer and the planning department to insert what is now sections 312 and 313 into this agreement to really address these site concerns. And as you can tell by that language, it refers to sections of code. So it's hard for the layperson to know what exactly that means. So what I want to do is walk through a few things on the record to make sure it's clear for everyone. This has been shared with the developer, it's been shared with the planning department, it's been shared with advocates as to what it would mean. And a few of those things include new sidewalks along Saddle Creek. They'd be widened to 5 feet, and they would have to include a landscaped barrier to the curb for pedestrian safety there. It would also require a 15 feet of perimeter parking lot landscaping to the interior of the site, which currently is not there. There'd be new sidewalks along California Street. They'd be widened to 10 feet if the Planning and Parks Department decide to pursue a segment of a bike and pedestrian path there that is in the master plan, west to east, a west-to-east connection there. Or alternatively, it would require widening the sidewalks to 5 to 7 feet and include a landscaped barrier to the curb. It would also require 10 feet of perimeter parking landscaping to the interior of the site. I think that'd be a major improvement to California Street right there, which is very difficult to pedestrians. There'd be new sidewalks required all along 46th Street on the west side of this site. They'd be widened to 5 feet as well. And that would also include a landscaped barrier to the curb. Street trees and pedestrian scale lighting would also be required around the entire length of the site. And the number of driveways crossing sidewalks would be limited to 1 per street frontage lot to reduce the number of potential conflicts to pedestrians that currently exist. Aesthetically, overhead service lines and utilities would have to be placed underground. The large parking lot that is currently there, and I consider a heat island, would have to be addressed as well. It'd have to be landscaped to cover a minimum of 7% of its interior area to include shade trees that would be equally distributed throughout the site. And then lastly, as it applies to building design and quality of materials, including the proposed multifamily, any new or remodeled building would be required to meet higher standards of exterior wall materials and overall building design. According to our city's urban design code, it'd have to meet those highest level of standards. And all these items are enforced by the planning department, who we've worked with directly on this, who would have to approve an urban site plan review and also building permits before anything would happen. One final point or two, and I see there's some other lights on as well. I want to address the issue of the multifamily. We talked about the design there and additional opportunities for folks to have impact on that design should they wish, and if this moves forward. But the materials are required, as I discussed. And then I do agree with opponents that have cited no affordable housing. I think that is a problem. We met early on, and I encouraged that to be part of this plan. It currently still is not. It proposes 223 market rate units. And I believe it should. I believe actually all multifamily TIF projects should. And as was previously mentioned by a testifier, we have initiated that process. I wanted that done by May 5th, but we amended that ordinance to allow the mayor and planning department a little more time to come back to the council with those recommendations to either incent or require affordable housing for any project requesting tax increment financing. I think that should be an expectation of receiving a public subsidy. And if for some reason that's not possible, contribution to that program, I think, is needed. So that's what's currently under development. We talked about this for probably a half an hour in our planning committee this morning, and we're watching that formation and that policy very closely, and are going to continue to push on that. The only last thing I wanted to mention is the EEA that's a part of this proposal. And this might be a question for you, Mr. Holen. Just a confirmation, which I think is true, that would not be applied to any grocery use. You cannot apply that to food sales, right? To grocery sales.
Yeah, by state statute, you cannot collect that on grocery.
It's not going to be applied to the multifamily or apartments.
Correct.
And then it's only applied at such time a redevelopment phase occurs. So should this be approved, this doesn't go into effect right away for any of those businesses until those phases are constructed.
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
Yeah. All right, thank you. That's it for now. I'll yield the floor.
Thank you. Councilmember Goodwin, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to talk about the complexity of this project, but also the position the council's in. When we heard the public hearings and heard initially from Woodsonia and asked about affordable housing, the answer was there was no room in the pro forma to allow for it. And just to bring some clarity to whether the area is blighted or not, oftentimes it's not about the physical appearance of the area, but it's about the demographics. When you look at the zip codes represented here, or that feed into this area, I believe there, and of course now my phone is not wanting to work for me, it's 68132, 68131, and population is about 13,000 total population, but 36% of the households would be considered rent burdened. So one of the things I think about is that TIF is allotted in a CRA because of blight, because of the demographics that speak to the need for investment. However, right now, the city council does not have a tool that requires or even incentivizes or mandates, and I'm using all the terms and we've not gotten to which one makes sense, and mandate and require is probably not where we're going to land, to say a development of this size, 223 market rate units, we can't require or even incentivize any level of affordable housing. That bothers me. It bothers me because the area says that these are the people who currently live here. These are the people who've been holding it down. Many of you know my work prior to the council has been grassroots revitalization in disinvested neighborhoods. And when you try to thread the needle of progress, the one thing you don't want to do is displace. Dundee is unique. I do agree with one of the testifiers of the intersectionality of upper middle class households, immigrant populations, all coming together to make up a very unique, quaint fabric of a community. I sit on the planning committee with Councilmember Festerson, and we've talked a lot about not just this project, but I do appreciate him reinforcing to the planning department that we've got to look at TIF, but we've got to look at other tools. TIF is going to have some limitations, but we've got to have some housing development tools that can get the city where it needs to be, especially when we're talking about 30,000 units. 30,000 units by 2030? Is that what the housing action plan says? So 223 units don't get us there, but 223 units that are at the tip top of market rate, what I'd like to see TIF do is say we've got to have a percentage here. We can't build and then change the complexion, the fabric of communities. It may not be intended. Someone asked me, a smaller developer, because I've been talking to a lot of people about this, and yet honoring the fact that this is Councilmember Festerson's district. So what do you want to see the area go to ruin and blight? Absolutely not. But it shouldn't be either or. We've got to figure out a middle ground. I know some people don't like the idea of luxury at all. We've got another development here in the city who they're not liking the idea of affordable. Know that this council's always trying to find the balance, and we know that we're not always going to make everybody happy. I'd also like to see TIF and/or this council, our planning department, I've talked to the mayor about this, is when investment comes that we're looking out for the small businesses. You know, there are businesses in this plaza who've been there 30 years, been there since I was in college. Now I'm giving you my age. But they're staples. We all know them, and we all enjoy them. And so what I don't want to see as I look at not just this project, but projects that might happen in other parts of not just the city, but my district, how do we do this effectively? How do we consider the voice of the community? You know, oftentimes what I've learned now on the other side of this, and I dare say next week it'll mark my first year as a city council person, is that bureaucracy rarely meets our expectations. I heard someone once say, politics is usually not an address, it's a bus stop, meaning you're going to get somewhere with a middle ground. I don't think this project does it. I'm not saying that there's ill intent of the developer, but in the future, we've got to do better, and I know we're working on it, and I know that does not help the people who have serious heartburn, angst about this. And I hope that we can look back, Mr. Holland, and know that these small businesses are going to get the best. You know, care might not be the right word when you start talking about capitalism, but I'm going to use it. I know capitalism and care don't always, but that's what we've got to do in these situations. And again, working with businesses on North 24th Street, they need hand-holding. They need some things that sometimes you other parts of the state, other parts of the city may not need. But if we're going to have a successful project long-term and build trust for the next project, that's what people are going to want to see. I know some small developers, that's what they do. Not that they're looking the other way with lease contracts and things like that, but they help the businesses get there. And that's what real, true community development looks like versus just, we've got to make our numbers. And so I just wanted to express my thoughts on this. We've got to make complex decisions here on this council, and none of us are simply ignoring community input or not thinking about if one vote goes one way, what does another vote look like? But again, as we look at TIF, as we look at economic development tools, I'm thinking about the small guy. I'm thinking about our current economic, and some people are in a crisis where they're at. And is this project or a project like this helping us to answer some of our most pressing problems in this city. Yes, it's going to develop. Yes, it's going to provide some public right-of-way improvements. And yes, we need all types of housing. And in a perfect world, this project would have affordable housing, even if it was a certain percentage. In a perfect world, to me, this project would have small business support. And I'm not saying that's necessarily on the developer. I think the city needs to think deeply and come up with some tools on that. And in a perfect world, I think also the community would trust that we're not sitting on our hands as a council, that we're thinking deeply, we're pressing our colleagues, we're looking at what other cities are doing and what's successful and what's not. And so maybe I'm asking for some grace. I'm asking for a different outcome the next time we see a project like this, though. 100% market rate. We got to figure out a way to do better. And so those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 62, an ordinance to authorize the fire department to purchase various medical supplies from Life Assist, Inc. for the use by the Emergency Medical Services Division.
Public hearing is now open on item 62. Are there any proponents?
Randy Major, Omaha Fire Department EMS Supply Officer, here for any questions.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents on item 62? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed.
Item 63, an ordinance to approve an amendment and partial assignment of the redevelopment agreement with Millwork District 1 LLC for the redevelopment of various properties within the Millwork District.
Public hearing is now open on item 63. Are there any proponents? Seeing none, are there any opponents? Public hearing is closed.
Non-action items, items 64 through 73, do not require public hearing or city council consideration at this meeting, but will be placed on a future agenda for public hearing and/or vote. The reason for non-action is noted after the item on the agenda, as well as the date the item is expected to appear on an agenda for consideration.
Motion is second to adjourn. Roll call.
Goodwin. Harding.
Yes.
Hug. Rowe. Festerson. Mr. President.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0. Meeting is adjourned at 4:12.